the guys all said that a huge point of emphasis was run the offense to the post, do the traditional things you guys have done before, and they were all very pleased that it worked out, that not only did that, but they stuck with it throughout the game.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's something that we worked on, the last 3 days of practice, is just in terms of how can we be more efficient in transition. Last year, we ran a lot of drag screens, which were ball screens in transition, and it really worked well for us. We were able to get downhill. We were able to attack the basket with our guards, and our bigs were able to get angles to be able to score. And for whatever reason, it just wasn't working as well as I wanted it to work this year. And so we tried something the last 3 days of practice. We just said our 5-man just sprint down the floor and post up right in front of the basket. Everybody else get to their regular spots. And so in transition, we're looking for layups and dunks. We're looking for pitch ahead, wide open threes by our best 3-point shooters. And we focused on getting the ball deep post catches. And Armando did a great job running down the middle of the floor, posting up, and we were able to get him the basketball. And it allowed us to be really efficient, especially in transition.
RJ said that he also thought that lended itself to more efficient shots from outside when you guys were able to get it that deep inside, and the guards maybe aren't having to create off the dribble so much, and they can just catch and shoot.
It is, we have to be inside out, plain and simple, period, the end. We can't be outside in. And, we have Armando, we have Pete, and we got to use them. We got to throw the ball down low on the block and let them use their gifts and talents to be able not only to score, but, to open up shots for our guards out on the perimeter and also get us into the penalty, because we're a really good free throw shooting team. But I also thought because Armando was posting up so hard and he didn't get the ball, he occupied a defender, and so then Caleb and RJ were able to get to the basket and nobody was there. They were able to get there because of how hard Armando worked down low on the block. And so that goes again, like I said, we had time to practice. And so it's nice to have that time this week to practice and to be able to implement it in a game and for it to look pretty good.
How about on the other side of the court? You had more help defensively. I think they only had one offensive rebound.
Yeah.
What was the difference, and what were the things you worked on defensively?
Well, we talked about 2 things defensively is, we've got to do a better job of protecting the paint. Over the last 2 games in regards to Virginia Tech and also Indiana, we had given up 92 points in the paint. That's horrible. You just can't win that way. And so, we've got to be in a position to protect the paint, and we only held them to 22 points in the paint. And so that, that's just evidence that puts you in a position defensively to be a lot better. I felt like our trust factor was better today, and it doesn't happen overnight. It just continues to get better every day of practice and every game. But one of the things that I kept telling the guys all week, if you give help, you've got to trust that your teammate is going to give you help. So if you give help, you'll get help. And I felt like the communication and the trust factor between everybody defensively was locked in today, and it just allowed us to be really good defensively, and we didn't give up. We only gave up 1 offensive rebound. They're a really good offensive rebounding team, so they didn't get second chance opportunities. That last 3 minutes of the first half, it's the first time that I felt like it looked like Carolina basketball. The way we were defending, the way that we were running, and then that play where RJ had a wide open 3, and we talked about making the extra pass and hit Pete in the corner. I came in at halftime. That's the first thing that I said to the coaching staff. It's the first time I looked at it and I go, man, this looks like Carolina basketball. It was great.
Coach, 13 offensive rebounds a game.
Hubert, along those lines with the rebounding, what do you think makes RJ such an effective rebounder for his size? How is he able to get in there and get those boards?
I think rebounding has to do everything with just energy and effort. One of the things that I tell the team all the time is this isn't an Armando Baycott rebounding game. It's a North Carolina rebounding game, and he needs help in there, and everybody has to get involved. A lot of times, our guards are the ones that get those long rebounds around the free throw line, top of the key area, but today RJ was getting into the paint and being really physical, and that type of activity helped us. You know, one of the things I tell the players all the time, there's so many different things that you could do that is of great benefit to you personally and to the team. And so it's not just about scoring, it's not just about shots, there's defense, there's assists, there's rebounds, there's energy and effort, enthusiasm. There's so many ways that you can help the team, and I think it's the second double-double for RJ this season. Third career, because his first one was in a national championship game. So if he wants to continue to do that, I'm okay with it.
Looks like Seth and Tyler continued to make strides today, and I mean, from my point of view, from where I was sitting, there were a couple of moments where they made a couple of big defensive stops, and that kind of led to some momentum for the offense. You're getting contributions from everywhere. Is that continuing to help guys like RJ and Armando, and are you seeing more of that in practice?
Yeah, you know, I've said before that, you know, we have depth on this team, but, you know, if you don't use it, you don't have depth. And just, you know, the progression that Seth is making and Puff and then you mentioned Tyler, you know, he's getting an opportunity, more of an opportunity because DeMarco's been out. And so, like, what great benefit to us when DeMarco comes back at the end of the month, and now you have another guy that can come off the bench and contribute in many different ways. You know, I've said before, you know, towards the end of the season where we were basically playing 5 guys, that's just not sustainable throughout a year, and those guys need help. And Puff and Seth and Tyler were really good today, and I was just so happy for Jalen Washington. This is the first time that he's been in a game in almost 2 years, and so to get him out there on the floor and for him to be able to score, his minutes are going to continue to rise because he's just a great kid and a fantastic player. It was really cool to see him on the floor. I was really, really happy about that.
So Hubert, how do you harness what you saw in terms of saying this is the first time it felt like Carolina basketball? How do you make sure, you know, of the consistency moving forward?
I think show it to them and just continue to reinforce it. I do. I just, you know, just repetitive, showing them what it looks like when the discipline and the details in terms of sharing the basketball, being in the right spots, screening for another player, making the extra pass, what a benefit that is to them individually and as a team. It's fun. You know, the whole bench was standing up. Everybody was smiling. It's the first time that us as a group has really smiled in 2 weeks. And so just continue to preach it and reinforce the things that they were doing out there on the floor that's beneficial for us. And so we'll continue to do that.
You spent time talking about the trust factor. How do you coach trust? Can you coach it?
Yeah, you can. You can coach anything. I'm just, you know, it's interesting. I thought that trust would already be there after what happened last year, but again, it's just another example. Every year is different. It's just, this is a new team, and just developing that trust of that I've got your back on both ends of the floor. That's something, again, one of the things that I said is I got to talk to them about it every day, and I've got to reinforce it every day. And I've got to continue to show them. So when we show them tape, I show them, you know, good stuff and bad stuff. And so stuff where we can improve, but stuff that we've done really well. And so it gives them a clear picture of where I want them to play. And that's what we'll do after this game in preparation for the Citadel on Tuesday, that these are the type of plays that are winning plays, and these are the things that we have to continue to do on a consistent basis.
Take a couple more.
Caleb said that a couple times, yesterday and then we talked to him today, he said that he thinks that what you guys have been going through is kind of good for you. He thinks it'll pay off down the road, that maybe
I hope so.
maybe this group sort of needed to cut the cord a little bit to last year and try to create something new this year. And he thinks today you guys took a step in that direction.
Well, I will agree with you on that. You have to cut the cord for what happened last year. You have to do that. And I think in some ways, we haven't done that. And I felt like today we took a step forward in doing that. And you have to you have to focus on what is real, and what is real is this team and this team's preparation and how good this team can be, and you have to put previous years in its proper place, in order to move forward. And I agree with you, Caleb. I agree that I think it's been hard, not just for them, but from the outside noise, to cut the cord from last year. And I feel like today was a step forward. I think it will always be a battle throughout the entire year, but my hope is we'll continue to get better and focus on this year's team and seeing how good we can become.
Armando comes into today, he ties the school record with 10-plus rebounds in a game. You kind of joke that just means he's kind of been here for a long time, but what is his presence down low, and how much of a game changer is he in there, because he wasn't playing last game against Virginia Tech?
Well, I mean, it's just, we talk about we only gave him 22 points in the paint. I think it would have been different if he wasn't in the game. It's just presence, and it, from a defensive standpoint, it just really helps us because he can block and alter shots, so that helps us defensively. And then on the offensive end, he's our most consistent low post scorer. It's just, I felt like this year opponents they've been beating up our guards, and so when they're coming off ball screens, they're getting double teamed, they're getting hit, and we just, after these last 2 weeks, we just looked at, as I told you before, this week also I got a chance to just sit back and be able to think about offensively, what are we doing well and what are the things we need to improve on, and the same thing on the defensive end. And so every day I've been taking 2 things from the things that we aren't doing well and see if we can every day just move closer to move them to the positive side. And one of the things was establishing a post and throwing the ball to Armando, and I thought we did a really good job of it today.
Take one last one, please. If there is.
Can I ask you one more question about Jalen? What do you think is the biggest thing that he can provide for you guys? Obviously, we saw the turnaround. Caleb sort of called his shot with that yesterday. Said it's practically unguardable, but
It is. He's really good at it. He's really good at it. Defensively, he's an excellent rebounder. So now you have another guy that can guard the post, he can rebound the basketball. He's also got good feet, so I've got no problem him switching to guards and being able to guard them out on the perimeter. So now we have another big guy that is versatile defensively but can rebound the basketball. Now we have another guy that can score down low in the paint. The other thing that you guys didn't see today, he can really shoot the ball from the outside too. So his ability to stretch the floor and shoot from 3 is going to be great. And he's just a really sweet kid. I love coaching him. I love that he's here. I wish his parents were here. I know the road that he has taken to get here. And for him to be out there on the floor, when he walked into the locker room, Kerr said, I spoke to the team, and last thing that Kerr said was, and a career high for Jalen. And the whole team just sprayed water on him. I think one of the things that's really cool is when you can celebrate somebody else's success. And so I saw 17 guys acting so happy for Jalen. I mean, how would you not want that in the locker room? And so today's a really good day, and I was really, really happy for Jalen.